Okay, in this video I am recording how to install Flask, how to get it running with an SQL database, and how to make a boilerplate template which includes, your basic HTML pages and Bootstrap. So my IDE of choice here is PyCharm. And PyCharm works very well with Python. And if you get the educational edition, then it works especially nice because you get the license that comes with pro features. And those pro features include a very simple way of installing something. So I'm going to start here with a new project. I suppose I could start with one here as well. And it says pure Python Django. It says Flask. We're going to go ahead and click on that. And Flask Project 1. What an amazing name. Let's go with that. So click the old create button. And here we go. And your entire website is built, I believe. No, just kidding. It's installing a lot of stuff. And oh, yep, some great stuff coming out here. You can see it's figuring out the interpreter. I'm using Python 3.9. Okay, and it looks like it's done. So we have the basic file structure here of everything we need. Virtual environment, and this is very important. This holds all the files that you happen to be using. So, for example, Flask 2.0 here, and all these versions of all this other stuff. These are your packages. Now, it's important to use this virtual environment because this is where the versions you're using. If you have any other projects on your computer that use different versions and you're pulling from kind of the global package directory, that might cause problems because one project's on this, the other's on that. And just because you start a new project that happens to use the newest version of the thing, of the package you want, does that mean you have to go through all your packages and change the versions? No, it could get really crazy really fast. So that's what those do. We have a templates file ready for us, a folder, I should say, a static folder, and an app.py, which is what we are looking at right now. So it comes with the nice interpreter already. If we press play on this, it says it's up and running. We open it up, and here's our website, Hello World. Isn't that amazing? Always love to see that. All right, let's change it around a bit. So as I mentioned, the first thing I'd like to do is get us rendering some templates. So we have an empty template folder. So let's go ahead and add a new HTML file. We can call it just well, we'll call it index for now. This is the main one, and it just makes a nice, clever little folder here. We say hello world, and it's going to be, we're going to write a little extra text in here. This is rendered from a template. Inspirational words, if I do say so myself. All right, I'm going to restart the project here, get it going. I'm actually also going to turn debug mode on in just a second. Debug is equal to true. Okay, and just restart it now again, just so that's still not running, but I'll get to that. I'll get to the bottom of that in just a moment. So right now it is running. Oh, it's still running that. You know why? Because it's running that because right over here we have our template, but we haven't told it to render the template. So we'll start with render template, and then we put index.html, and it doesn't work. It's not going to work. It's got this red thing. It's really confused. We've confused Python. We should just just give up at this point. Not just kidding. We need to import it, of course. Render template. And once we import the template, then that red squiggly line disappears, and it's a lot friendlier to work with, right? We can press enter, and then we start typing in index, and it auto suggests it for us. Beautiful. Let's always do it that way going forward. Okay, debug mode is still off for some reason. I don't know why. All right, I'm just gonna think about this later. All right. So, oh, and sure enough, that's the one. That's the one we want. That's the one we're looking for. All right, just to familiarize ourselves with PyCharm here, we have a couple things down here. We have our to-dos, which we can add this into kind of the way to actually make ourselves a to-do list. Problems or anything like that. Terminal. So this is our terminal. It's using, I don't know, it's using a bash, but what's important is that we have this little bit in the front, venv, meaning it is accessing our virtual environment. So any of the commands, anything we install, it's going to be working on our VN environment. Python packages, this is PyCharm's way of installing and working on packages. So that's really their own little way here. We will see that this sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't. We will find out, sure enough, when it does and when it doesn't. And finally, the console. So this is the Python console. So this is the equivalent of going to the terminal and typing in Python 3. You get a 3 angled brackets like that. Well, that's the same thing here. It's just always on. Okay, and if you want to exit, you do exit like this and you're out of the console. Okay, so our first task is to get this thing rendered. It is rendering. Great, amazing, but it's not particularly pretty, right? We want it to be a little prettier than this, right? So our go-to place, I suppose, is going to be Bootstrap. So I'm going to type in Bootstrap. Oh, yeah, there we go. Wonderful, and I'm going to click on Get Bootstrap, and I'm going to go to our documentation, and here's key. We are using, it says 5.1, we're going to be using 4.6, okay? So everything in here is 4.6. I'm a little more familiar with it. It's a bit more developed, so we'll go with it like that. So quick start guide, they're very friendly here, and they just go ahead and say, hey, you want to use it, just copy this line, click, and copy paste the style link into the head before all the style sheets to load the CSS. All right, so let's go here. Here's the index. Let's open up this index head before all the style sheets. Well, here's the title, and we'll put this style sheet in here. Great, wonderful. I'll put the name of this web page here. So it's home and hello world, and we'll run it, and well, let's see here. All right, let's open it up, and if we refresh, we know something's happened because it does say hello world, and actually, yeah, the text has changed a little bit here. If we view the page source, we sure enough, it's got Bootstrap in there. So now what? Well, we can add some fancy stuff to it. So one place I like to go is to the Bootstrap documentation, go to examples, and just see what they got here for you. So one of my personal faves is this. It's a great place, great way to just kind of start up any old blog. You get it going like this. So I've discovered that probably the easiest thing to do is to copy and paste the entire code here and then modify it. Just wholesale lift this out. And this is fine to do because it's really just a boilerplate. It's really basic code, and you're going to modify it from this point forward, okay? It's really just super simple stuff. So this will take a little bit of work because we're going to have to re-enter this line. So we're going to have to redo something we've already done. But you know, let's trust me on this one. This is the way to go. Copy. Okay, and here's this index, and we're just gonna paste it all in like this. And well, ooh, let's see how it works. All right. Ooh, that does not look right. This does not look like this. What's wrong? Well, remember I mentioned we'll have to recopy some stuff over. So what's going on? If we go back up to the start here, okay, um, we'll see that we have to just copy this line over, and you can kind of see from here their first Bootstrap core CSS. They don't link to this CDN, right? This CDN is the CDN server here. Instead, they link directly to their own local instance. So what we want to do is just delete that bit, paste it in, beautiful, just like that. They have all these favicons. These aren't going to work for us either. They're not, because they're all local within documentation. So, you know, honestly, I don't even want them. Just let's get rid of them. Just no, it didn't even happen. This, don't know what that's for. I guess we could keep it, we could drop it. Here they have some custom style sheet. We could, I don't know, we could see what this is all about. Here, let's go back here. Let's see, download source code. Oh, that downloads everything. No, download the examples. No, we're good here. We can just keep using this. Okay, it was sticky note footer, and we view the page source. Here it is, and being as in the page source, we could actually link to these directly. So this is, oh, this is pretty short. Not required for template or sticky footer method. Oh, okay. So maybe let's put that in the end and see what exactly it does. But okay, so far here we had something like this. This is what it looked like. This is what we started with. I haven't refreshed this. This is now what it looks like. So I've now changed this single line right here. This line has been changed. I'm going to refresh, and let's refresh here, and ooh, much better, much nicer here. Not at 100%, right? It's still not this, but that has to do with a couple things here. Remember that little tiny bit of code that was tucked away there? Maybe we can write this code here. So they store it here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take advantage of this moment, and I'm going to copy this over right here. We're going to go to static. We're going to create a folder, and this folder is going to hold our CSS. And then inside of that, we are going to create a styles. Okay, and just quick enter to that, styles, and I'll just paste that in here. All right, and actually, yeah, and then we are going to do something a little very flasky here. Hear me out on it. So we're going here to this, and here is this canonical one. We could keep that. It's kind of a nice booknote. Okay, and so href goes in right here. So here what we should actually do is get some kind of URL by. So let me explain what you need to do here. So if we just go to Flask, let's go to Flask templates, right? That's a great place to start. And they give us this really base file. And here it is. They have a reference to their own. Oh, this will actually work perfectly, just as this is, because we actually named our sheet styles. So let's just borrow this line here. And I am just going to paste that in, and ours is called styles. Okay, and this little line here, URL for this method, helps Flask find the directory. So it knows to look in this static folder for a file called styles. Now, there's still something wrong with this because even though the file is named styles, we put it in a directory called CSS. So let's do CSS/styles. Okay, now I hope something different will appear now. So this is what we had before. Let's see if there's any change. Oh yes, looks much nicer. And down here, it's colored pretty well. So this is where we were. This was our goal. Yep, it's a duplicate. Okay, we successfully duplicated it. Now again, I strongly recommend taking the whole code and copying it over, just because when I was doing this by myself the first time trying to get it work, it turned out that like this class equals h100 was completely necessary for this whole sticky footer to work. Otherwise, the footer was just like right here at the top, just right under the content, and wasn't necessarily a sticky. And sticky means that it's stuck to the bottom here. So we are satisfied now, right? We have this. This is working for us, great. So I'm going to close that Bootstrap site, all these Bootstrap things going. We're going to close them all out. And this is a great place to start working from. Okay. Yeah, and let me just double check that we have everything we need here. We have our JavaScript code in here as well to help us out. So to get into a deeper understanding of what's going on here, you should look into HTML and CSS. These little tutorial series is more going to assume you know most of this stuff, is going to dance around it. So, okay, so let's stop there for now. And in the next video, in the next recording, I am going to discuss how to break this, how to customize this nav bar we have here, so to include our own things, as well as make it our general site template. All right, looking forward to it.